him full blast in the face, and a bunch of people do it. They stomp him, they kick him. I mean, he's out cold with his pants down. They are kicking him in the head.
I don't think people realize the effects that one of those E-rages can have on your psyche. And I think when people, they see something like the Lion guy or the dude who fucking caught the foul ball in the Cubs game, or fucking, you know, Metzger or anything like that.
Or this lady with the 8-year-old girl.
It comes at you from everything, everywhere.
Yeah.
And then the zeitgeist moves on. You know, people kind of move on and think something else. They're still getting hundreds of stuff a day saying, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. It's still happening.
Right.
And so you all move on like nothing happened, but everyone
full blast in the face, and a bunch
added to their this overwhelming, like this thing you can't get out. I still think Metzger's flailing off that shit. If he's still trying to defend himself, all these fucking attackers from fucking 5 years ago, like 3 years ago. But like, you don't just come clean of that. Right. So all the people adding like, hey, fuck you for killing that lion, like you've added to their fucking break in psychology.
Yeah.
It's not an easy thing to get over, and you don't see it all, but it's so much. I mean, when Renzizi started, I called him and his wife. I'm like, get offline right now. Ralphie too, when that shit was happening to him, it was like, you need to give this to someone else because it won't do you any good. Even if you know you're wrong. Renzizi apologized to all of us 6 years earlier. Said, hey, fuck, I'm sorry. I lied. And we all made fun of him. That was over. He doesn't need other people going, fuck you, you lied. He goes, yeah, I know. I already told everybody. I know I was wrong. Yeah. You don't need 10,000 people telling you that. It doesn't do anything for you when you've already said, yes, I agree.
Yeah.
You know?
They don't care, though. They just want to get their licks in.
Yeah, and it's terrible.
They are the cultural equivalent to this bar fight in the
of
ghetto
kicking
where the guy's
down.
knocked out. You get the free
nuts.
shots in. They also want you to know they're disappointed in you and express their rage at you.
I'm unfollowing you.
Yeah. That's
all right, just do it. Don't fucking tell. Why are you telling me? What the fuck is wrong with you?
That's adorable when they let you know, unfollow. Alex Jones was right.
Yeah, it's a nutty time we live in.
Yeah, it is a nutty time, and it's a time of outrage. There's outrage sport out there to be had, and there's legitimate outrage.
There's a story
that both things are happening.
My friend told me about these people in D.C. Pulled over on the side of the road, decently busy highway, maybe Sunset Boulevard type thing, but not businesses like that. But it's busy, like let's say 3 lanes here, 3 lanes there. They saw these 2 kids walking home, a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old, just on their own, just walking. And this lady pulled over. It's like, who are you? Where's your parents? And they're like, I don't know. I think they're probably at home. I'm not sure. She's like, well, where are you going? She's like, we're going home. They're like, where are you coming from? They're like, we're coming from the playground. And she was like, no, you can't be on your own. And she called the cops, and they got them, picked them up and got them to where they lived. And their parents were there, and like, what's all this? And they're like, we saw your kids walking alone. And they're like, yeah, for the park, right? And they were like, yeah. They're like, yeah, we taught them how to do that. And they're like, what do you mean? Like, we taught them, we've walked with them from the park enough times, and we taught our kids enough to where we trust that they can come home from the park alone. We've taught them how to do that. We trust them with it. And then people are like, oh, I guess so. And there was a split in the story. Most people who read it, 90% of the people who read it go, yes, parents should be allowed to trust when their kids are trained enough to do things. Like driving at 16, that's a parent's decision, 10% of the people were like, no, I wouldn't do that with my kids. That's fuck them. And those people reached out on Twitter or on Facebook and said, fuck you should have your kids taken away from you. And that 10%, even though 90% said, yeah, parents should be able to teach their kids whatever, that 10% means thousands of people coming at you saying you're a horrible teacher, you're a horrible father. Imagine that if thousands of people say, fuck you, you're a bad father, you're ruining your kids. And it kept happening. It affects you. And they didn't do anything wrong. They did something where 90% of people think, yeah, you're in the right here. And you're still getting all this negativity.
Well, nobody
it's damaging as shit.
And nobody ever is prepared for that.
No one's prepared for it.
No one.
Agencies should be on the ready to help their client fucking deal with this when it happens. Because it'll happen to almost everybody. You'll have something that'll get blown out of proportion.
Yeah.
You gotta get offline immediately.
Well, do you think that some of it comes from people have this feeling that anybody who is in that sort of a situation where they're clearly wrong is just an open target?
Open target. Fuck them. I can go off on them. Look how easy it is to do a Christianity joke now. Look how hard it was back then. For Scientology, same thing. And South Park broke it up, and now you're like, you're not brave for making fun of Scientology now or Christianity. Everybody's doing it.
Yeah, that whole brave.
So fucking easy
jokes.
now. Do that in the 60s. You have a problem.
Didn't that get exhausting? Brave for telling jokes. How about just be funny?
Yeah.
But Tom Herrera had a great joke
It's
about
already been
that.
covered.
He goes, I got a great story. He goes, how about just a funny one you made up?
Yeah. True story. Like, I don't need a true story. How about a good one?
Yeah, he goes, I don't need a true story.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait, what were we just saying?
I forget. What were we just saying, Jamie? You forget too. God damn it. Fucking marijuana. It's got its side effects.
It does have its side effects.
Definitely has
There's
issues.
no doubting that.
Yeah, we're talking about E-Rage.
Yeah.
Yeah, Metzger's E-Rage was pretty rough. People,
he hasn't gotten out of that yet.
yeah, people, fuck man.
It's like, fuck you.
I just feel like we're stalled out in our cultural evolution in a way that I feel like we're in these movements of change, and I think I see a lot of positive things, but I don't see nearly enough like friendliness and compassion. I think we really need more of that as human beings. This is not lasting. You're not going to last. No one's lasting. You know, you're going to die. We're all going to die. We're here for a certain amount of time. It's not permanent. And while you're here, we can make everything better for everybody. Just being nicer to each other can be done.
I mean, it's not going to be done. So I think.
But it can be done in little drips.
Yeah, I think what you do is got to affect your own life. Say, I can't change it for everybody. But what I can do is every time I read one of these blogs that make me angry, just go, I probably don't have the whole story on this because that's happened 20 times already.
Oh, for sure.
So then it's like, I'm not going to get mad. You know, I'm sure people are taking care of this.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is go outside and enjoy some freedoms that I have, like a fucking park.
Yeah.
You know, actually enjoy your life instead of letting people fucking take you down this horrible road. To hurt them,
road.
You're hurting yourself.
Yeah.
And you're wrong at hurting them.
Yeah.
Fucking get out there.
Just leave.
Go call a friend. Go talk about something.
Yeah. It's just a strange time for, you know, just for expressing anger.
Fuck you. You're wrong. Fuck you. Fuck
Yeah.
you. Fuck you. You're wrong.
We never had like more of an open forum for debating ideas, but people have never been more dogmatic and aggressive about their opinions
God.
too. And the left gets violent now. This is a weird thing that didn't used to happen before. You saw Nick DiPaolo get punched in the face by some woman at a
You're
show.
so self-righteous that you feel like
She just had to punch him in the face. He's got a giant black eye.
it's like you can't be violent against someone. And they used to go, well, look who you're. Let's say it was like a dice type act, and then some of those people were like hardcore KKK people. Like, look who your fan base is, and you're like, that's not my fault. I'm not asking them to be there.
Right.
Well, if you want that logic. Some of the people following you guys are pretty fucking shitty.
Yeah.
I won't call you on that logic because I'm not a hypocrite, but like, it ain't your fault. But like, they are. Some of them are getting fucking violent now.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's so anti-free speech.
It's so
Exchange of information.
It becomes idea wars, and when it becomes idea wars, they get this anything necessary by any means necessary mentality. And they think
They
that
let
sometimes
the ends justify the means.
There's fucking professors out there have been quoted as saying that they believe in violence when there is no other solution, supporting Antifa and Antifa's disruptive violence and to take away oppressors, and that this is a big one. This is one that has been coming up lately more often. Even the ACLU changed its stance on free speech. And they're deeming free speech as something that's not hurtful to someone else. Well, that's not what free speech is. Like, what is the most recent?
Oh, when they go hurtful,
what is the most recent reading about free speech? There was something about the ACLU's stance on free speech.
Well, you can't infringe. My belief is you can't infringe on your free speech. Fine, as long as you don't infringe on the rights of someone else.
Right.
So, like, you can burn a flag if you want, but you can't burn a flag in my apartment.
I think they're shifting it into some concern.
Right. If you go to what harm is, it's like, are we just talking about physical harm or monetary and physical, or now we talk about like slight mental harm?
Well, if it's racism, it's clearly emotional harm, mental harm. You're damaging someone's psyche if you're dismissing them in a racist way or you're insulting them in a racist way. I think that's one of the things that they
then you have to start applying that to white people. Here's the problem with saying, okay, so I heard this theory that like, what if
making fun of white people and dismissing white people?
Yeah, just because like, fuck you, white guy, you don't know anything. It's like, all right, well, you've just put me into a category that I'm just a human. I mean, I know you don't like when people do that to you, so I don't know why you're using those methods now. It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, it's the tide coming in and out, right? The whites owned slaves for so long, and it was so fucking oppressive that now as it's shifted back, there's still economic despair in all black neighborhoods because of racist laws and things haven't balanced out yet. So you're allowed to go, fuck white people. Yeah. So you're allowed to say fuck white people until it goes this way and then this way and then evens out.
We've got to the point where you're shitting on Christians, and I'm not a Christian. I don't care for them, especially Catholics. But like, we're shitting on them now. It's like, hey, come on, leave them alone. They're honestly, all they do is take abuse now. All they're doing is trying to worship their God, and you guys are shitting on them and calling them yokels. Fucking leave them alone for a minute.
Yeah.
They're down. They're down. You got them down. You're now punching down if you want to shit on a Catholic.
Yeah, unless they're fucking kids.
Yeah.
You'll let it go. Do whatever you want.
Join in. Wait. What? No, right. What you said.
That is, I mean, that is one of the darkest fucking things that they're accused of.
Transferring people, go rape someone
All
else.
over the place. That was the Pope. The Pope did that.
Yeah. There's an organizer. The guy who talks to God is.
Yeah.
That's what God told him to say.
He moved somebody who went on to rape 100 deaf kids.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. 100. Yeah. What the fuck, man? You look into that guy's background, Ratzinger. Look into, I mean, there's several cases of that. There's so many, there's documentaries on it. I think Speak No Evil is one of the documentaries of different priests that were just molesting just scores of kids.
Damn.
Yeah, and they interview the guys. They're monsters. It's so crazy, man. I mean, they were just, that's what they did. That's what everybody did to them. That's what they did, and they got away with it forever.
Every once in a while, someone will point out some like Jewish rabbi that like has raped a kid or something like that and say, see, it happens in Judaism too.
What is this? ACLU's longstanding commitment to defending speech we hate. Is this recent?
Good. That's what they should be doing.
This was in response to this.
Oh, so somebody published someone's criticism published in the Wall Street Journal is different from those challenges to our work. Her critique is predicated on a fundamental misrepresentation. She falsely accuses the ACLU of having secretly changed its policy in regarding free speech, and of launching an investigation to determine who leaked the secret, air quotes leaked and then quote secret document that she claims revealed this asserted change in policy. In fact, the ACLU remains fully committed to defending free speech, as the document she cites
expressly reaffirms.
Hashtag fake news. So somebody put out some fake news, according to the ACLU. Good.
I heard somebody say
it's hard to tell.
You should not be able to. It was like, I don't know, fucking something. And say once there's violence committed because of your organization, you can no longer say you're not a terrorist organization, or you can no longer say you have the right to protest when it causes violence. And then this is on NPR actually. And then the host was like, okay, so just so you know though, and they're a liberal group, not crazy, but like liberal.
Right.
And the guy goes, okay, just so you know, then they'll apply that same thing to Black Lives Matter. And he's like, what do you mean? Like, well, that guy who killed 2 cops because of the Black Lives Matter. If you're going to say the followers decide whether or not then we have to outlaw Black Lives Matter. And the guy was like, oh, no, we can't do that. I was like, all right, well, then you can't say Charlottesville people don't have a right to say, go home, kikes, you're taking our jobs. They can say it. It's fine. They can say it. It sucks. They can say it.
Yeah.
All of it. You got to say all of it. You can roll your eyes and say, that guy's an idiot. That's your right. You don't stop them from talking, because then it keeps going to the point where rap is getting fucking boycotted in America. You can't put your shit out. It will always go to a point where it'd be super, super repressive.
Well,
if one person who is not doing anything wrong can't speak, you've done something wrong.
yeah, you could easily compromise a group too and turn it into a terrorist organization
easily.
By infiltrating it, having someone cause violence.
That's what they did Occupy Wall Street.
Exactly.
They would send in some undercover cops to start fist fights,
Yep.
and then they get like, go home, there's fist fights now.